Russia has dismissed suggestions that a former United States Marine accused of spying could be involved in a prisoner swap. Paul Whelan,
48,
was detained in Moscow last month. His family says he was simply visiting Russia to attend a wedding. His lawyer had raised the possibility of a prisoner exchange, telling ABC News that it is not excluded as a means of resolving the case. But a Russian minister now says that it was incorrect to suggest this idea. It is impossible and incorrect to raise the issue in this way, when official charges have not even been put forward yet. Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov told the RIA Novosti news agency on Friday. He added that the situation was very serious. Russian news agencies and Mr. Whelan's Russian lawyer, Vladimir Jerebenkov, had previously said that the ex-Marine had been charged. On Thursday, Mr. Jerebenkov also appeared to suggest that a prisoner swap would be possible. The thing is that in this category of cases, exchanges often happen, he told ABC News. It is not excluded such a practice exists. It exists, and there are a lot of Russian citizens being held in America. Meanwhile, Russia says the United States has detained one of its citizens on the northern Marin Islands in the Northwest Pacific. Its foreign ministry said on Friday that Dmitry Makarenko had been detained by the FBI and moved to Florida. But the United States has not yet confirmed this. Mr. Whelan was born in Canada to British parents, but moved to the United States as a child. He is currently Director of Global Security for Michigan-based automotive components supplier Paul Whelan. He is a citizen of 4 countries: the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and the Irish Republic. Mr. Whelan joined the Marine Reserves in 1994 and rose to the rank of Staff Sergeant in 2004. He served in Iraq for several months in 2004 and 2006. He was convicted in a 2008 court-martial on charges related to larceny, and received bad conduct discharge. Details of the charges have not been made public. His twin brother David Whelan said he had been visiting Russia for business and pleasure since 2007. Mr. Whelan arrived in Russia on 22 December to attend a wedding, and had planned to visit Russia's second city, St. Petersburg, in addition to Moscow, before flying home on 6 January. His brother said he was arrested in Moscow on 28 December, having taken a group of wedding guests on a tour of the Kremlin museums in the morning. He was last heard from in the early evening, and failed to show up for the wedding. David Whelan said he has been charged with espionage and, if found guilty, he could face up to 20 years in jail. Russia's 5-state security agency has given few details, saying only that he was detained during an act of espionage, a wording which implies that he was caught red-handed. The BBC's Sarah Rainsford reports spy scandals have erupted between Russia and America at regular intervals since the Cold War, while Russia's actions in Ukraine since 2014 and allegations of Russian meddling in the 2016 US presidential election have led to strained relations. A popular tourist attraction has become the latest Chinese company to show solidarity with Huawei's chief finance officer, Meng Wanzhou, who was arrested in Canada on 1 December. Shannon Mountain Scenic Park in eastern Henan province said it would waive the $9 Fatigue 65 yuan ticket fee for anyone carrying a Huawei phone. Ms. Marin, who was given bail in Canada, faces extradition to the United States on charges of breaking Iran sanctions. Her case has upped tensions with China. U.S. Huawei phones shoot grand photos on the mountain. A notice on the Shannon Park's social media account said, "We wish friends around the world who support Huawei's success in bliss." The offer would last until 29 December, the South China Morning Post reported, but it was met with some criticism among China's social media users, who claimed it was discriminatory. Huawei phone owners are being offered other enticements too. They can get a 20% discount at a bar in Beijing. Seen in Beijing, bring a Huawei phone and get 20% off. Similar to this story, we covered yesterday https://QQXL1IYPQL Twitter.com Sokolov. End of Twitter post by @LuoXinji. At least one firm has threatened to penalize anyone buying Apple products. A few days ago, Manpada Shenzhen-based Legend display manufacturer offered subsidies to any employees buying Huawei phones. It also pledged to fine anyone who bought an Apple iPhone. United States prosecutors alleged Ms. Marin 46 used a Huawei subsidiary called Skycom to evade sanctions on Iran between 2009 and 2014. They also allege she publicly misrepresented Skycom as being a separate company from Huawei, and that she deceived banks about the true relationship between the two companies. Ms. Marin, who is the daughter of Huawei's founder, has denied any wrongdoing and said she will contest the allegations. Life of Huawei's high-flying heiress. The United States has been investigating the Chinese telecoms giant, the world's second-largest smartphone maker, since 2016. Believing that it used Skycom to bring the United States manufacturing equipment and millions of dollars in transactions to Iran in violation of sanctions. Ms. Marin's detention comes amid an increasingly acrimonious trade dispute between Washington and Beijing. China is angry at her detention, saying she has not violated any laws. Beijing has threatened severe consequences unless Canada releases the executive. Since her arrest, 2 Canadians, a former diplomat and a businessman, have been detained in China on suspicion of harming national security. United States President Donald Trump said last week that he might intervene in the United States Justice Department's case against Ms. Marin if it would serve national security interests or help achieve a trade deal with China. If I think it's good for what will be certainly the largest trade deal ever made, which is a very important thing, what's good for national security, I would certainly intervene if I thought it was necessary, he told Reuters news agency. Canada reacted by urging Mr. Trump not to politicize the situation. Our extradition partners should not seek to politicize the extradition process or use it for ends other than the pursuit of justice, Foreign Minister Chrystia Freeland said. The United States military says it has killed 62 fighters from the Islamist group Al-Shabaab in 6 airstrikes in Somalia. 4 airstrikes on Saturday killed 32 militants, and a further 2 on Sunday killed 28. It said in a statement, "These were the deadliest air attacks in Somalia since November 2017, when the United States said it had killed 100 militants." Somalia has seen a sharp increase in the number of airstrikes and casualties since President Donald Trump took office in the United States in January 2017. A tally by the Bureau of Investigative Journalism reveals that at least 400 people have been killed in airstrikes since the beginning of 2017, far more than the previous 10 years combined.